Hello, I am Dr. Rakesh Sancheti, Assistant Professor and Head Department of Chemistry, SNJB's Arts, Commerce and Science College, Chandwad. Today I am going to discuss the topic of research methodology. Here, this topic is according to NEP 2020 in the syllabus of M.Sc First Chemistry and Allied Branches. Now, in this topic, what do you mean by research? Some people says research is search for knowledge. Somebody says scientific, it is scientific and systematic search for relevant information on a specific data, or someone says it is art of scientific investigation, or we can say that it is research is a careful investigation or inquiry specifically through the search for new facts in any branch of knowledge. Or we can say it is movement from known to unknown and journey of discovery. But according to literature survey, research methodology is a way to systematically solve a research problem. It can be considered as science of study that involves how does the research is scientifically done, how one is find new things about any selected topic and new knowledge can be gained. Research methodology involves various steps which are considered by research during research study and the logics behind it. In more general way, we can say that research methodology is about the principles that guide our research practices. There are certain objectives of research methodology are related. Research objectives should be specific, measurable, achievable goals that you aim to accomplish with specified time frame. The research aim into smaller and more manageable components and provide a clear picture of what you want to achieve and how you plan to achieve it. Now, there are different types of research areas are fundamental research, applied research, experimental research, interdisciplinary research. Now, as per the name, fundamental research should be known as a basic and pure research, and this research is related with curiosity and strong desire to expand knowledge in specific research area. Now, the target of fundamental research should be to discover new knowledge, and basic research involves development of theory or contribution to the existing body of knowledge. Now, fundamental research have universal validity. The fundamental research is a desire to know something. For example, synthesis and characterization of molecules, or phytochemical analysis of plants, or study of electrical conductivity of oxides. Then let us focus on applied research. Applied research is related to some applications that done by the basic research. Applied research is directed towards immediate solution to the problems in specific and practical problems. Now, we can take a simple example of applied research, that is the COVID-19. So, in the COVID-19, the scientists develop the vaccines by doing some research that is immediate solution to the societal problem. Now, the applied research also uses the scientific method of inquiry, and this method is not a rigorous as applicability and not in terms of universal validity. The applied research is desired to know something again. For example, again we can take another example, the investigation of way to improve agricultural crop production. This is the biggest problem, and this may be a part of applied research. Now, third type of research is experimental research. So in the experimental research, the researcher investigate relationship between two or more variables by manipulating one variables, that is independent variable, and observing its effect on another variable, that is dependent variable. Now this experimental research is about the investigation of a variable under carefully controlled conditions and to observe whether any change occur in second variable as per the results. Now the researchers in this area conduct experiments to test hypothesis about the cause of the behavior, and finally the experimental research allows researchers to decide whether a treatment or problem effectively changes behavior. And finally we have interdisciplinary research. Interdisciplinary or interdisciplinary studies involves the combination of multiple academic disciplines into one activity. For example, people for science, they may belongs to biology, belongs to chemistry, belongs to physics or other allied science branch. They come together and find the solution and can do the research in this way. So that is also interdisciplinary research. So in this research it draws knowledge from several other fields like physics, chemistry, microbiology, as I told earlier. It is about creating something by thinking across the boundaries. So in this interdisciplinary research, different branches of that area or stream can come together, the people come together and they can do the research. Now we can going to discuss the scope of research and ethics and literature survey and search techniques. So in the research, literature survey has a great importance. So let us see the steps in scientific research. First of all, define a question to investigate. Means we can say that find the problems in the society and then make predictions, propose hypothesis to solve that problems of the society, and then try to collect the data. After the collection of data, analyze that data by using some techniques, maybe theoretical or practical technique, and after analyzing the data, conclude that data. After the conclusion, the outcome of research is research papers and publications. Now let us see or let us discuss the importance of research and ethics. There are certain types of the research ethics. So there is a one question, why do research ethics matter? There should be a research ethics. So one should have question, what do you mean by ethics in the research? So research ethics matters for scientific integrity, human rights, dignity and collaboration between science and society. These principles make sure that participation in studies is voluntary, informed and safe for research subjects. So ethical consideration means what? Research area are a set of principles that guide your research, designs and practices. Scientists and researchers must always adhere to a certain code of conduct when collecting data from the people. There should be some approvals for the research studies, and these are the ethical approvals. So before you start any study involving data collection with people, you will submit your research proposal and institutional review board or institutional ethics committee. Nowadays, in case of zoology subject, in ancient time, the government allows the specimens of animals for the study. Now it is mandatory for the researchers to take the permission of the government. Now there are certain types of ethical issues. Here a tabular form which indicates the ethical issues and their definition. So voluntary participation. So your participants means what? Voluntary participation means your participations are free to opt in or out of the study at any point of time. Means you can do the research in voluntary manner. Informed consent. This is second ethics. And here the participants know the purpose, benefits, risk and funding behind the study before they agree or decline to join. Third point is anonymity. So what do you mean by this? You don't know the identities of the participants. Personally identifiable data is not collected. Fourth ethics issue is confidentiality. You know who the participants are, but you keep that information hidden from everyone or with everybody. You anonymize personally identifiable data so that it can't be linked to other data by anyone else. Next ethics is potential for harm. So physical, social, psychological and all other types of harms are kept to an absolute minimum. And last research ethics is results communication. So here you should ensure your work is free of plagiarism or research misconduct and you accurately represent your results. Now we can discuss what do you mean by plagiarism. So plagiarism means submitting other works as your own work. Although it can be unintentional, copying someone else's work without proper credit amounts or stealing the other researchers or stealing. It's an ethical problem in research communication because you may benefit by harming other researchers. Now this is the definition of plagiarism. In short, we can say that submission of other works as a saying it is my own work. It may be a stolen of works, other research works and publish on his name, that is the plagiarism. Now there are types of plagiarisms. In that first is self-plagiarism. So self-plagiarism is when you republish or resubmit part of your own paper or reports without properly citing your original work. Original even. So this problematic because you may benefit from presenting your ideas as a new and original even though they have already been published elsewhere in the part. You may also be infringing on your previous publisher's copyright, violating an ethical code or wasting time and resources by doing so. In extreme cases of self-plagiarism, entire data set or papers are sometimes duplicated. These are major ethical violations because they can skew research findings if taken as original data. Now there are some softwares available to identify the plagiarism. The best software is Turnitin, then Urkund, Qtex, Dupli Checker, Copylix, then plagiarism detector software or some sites are available, Copyscape, Plagscan, then from Original, Noplag, Unicheck. These are the softwares available in the market. Some of the softwares are freely available and some softwares have subscription. Now in previous time 30% plagiarism was allowed for the submission of PhD thesis. Now plagiarism should not be greater than 10% in the PhD thesis work. So friends, here we conclude some of the topics of research, like what is research, what are the objectives of the research methodology, then types of research, then plagiarism. So in next part we will see some topics like citation index, H index and so on. Thank you.